I'm struck by the fact that it seems that these children have no social, actual people groups. They are alone. I mean, is that what you normally find?
So really, when you get to about 9 or 10 is really when all of the kind of like our quote unquote like play date work is over. You know, we've kind of like really worked really hard and in terms of parenting right now. And then really when they hit that middle school age is a huge drop off in terms of like what they're doing socially. They don't really want to, it's not cool anymore, it's not this, it's not that. And it's really, as a parent, we're exhausted to try to get them to do that, but you're absolutely right. They don't have a social, what is it that they could do together at that
chess
age?
groups or
Sports or,
musicals. Yeah.
right, all of those things, like in terms of, and the schools are rich with them. You know, they do have chess and they have robotic Legos and they have all of these different things in it, but it costs money and it takes time from the parents and dropping them off and all that. So I get all the excuses all the time, and then I show the alternative. And so, you know, it's really, we have to really work at how do we make sure that they're too busy and that they're not sucked into this, because that's what's happening. And typically it's at night. And so for me, like if they're, again, if you have kids that are at that age that they're probably after 11, I wouldn't let them have cell phones after at night. And they do tricky things. They'll deactivate Facebook accounts so that when you go on, it's not on there, and then they reactivate it and then it's there after we go to bed. Or they'll go in and take what it is, like their phone or thing, after we go to bed. And so then you've got kids that are having all of this different impact because they're not getting sleep and they have all of this information that's coming to them. So it's leading to them all to me, you know, and I don't start seeing kids till they're about 12. And typically I was telling Juliet, I had a 15-year-old who is addicted to rape porn. So average age kids are exposed to porn now is 8 or 9. That's the average age that they're getting exposed to porn. So by the time he's 15, and the mom's like, well, do you think that this is a problem? Yeah, it's a problem. You know, like it's already a problem, and he's 15 years old, and he's terrified to like really have a conversation about it. And how does he give it up? Because he's had it for so long. So it's almost too late, which is again why I'm trying to get out there earlier and get to people. Knowing if it's time, 95% are getting it to the phone. Parents are asking me all the time, when do I give my child a cell phone? 25. That's when I would give them a cell phone. I mean, that's where they're accessing it. So average age now is 6. Because of divorce, because of families going back and forth, kids have cell phones at such an early age now. Get them a phone that doesn't have text message, camera, any of that stuff. If you're going to do it because you think that they need to call you, everybody else has a cell phone. I don't know, and if they have the number memorized, they don't need one. But if you think that you need one, do not get them a smartphone because they are not ready. Developmentally, they're just not ready. Yeah, most kids don't think that their parents know or care. Go ahead.
This is what I've done, is I have not allowed them to do any of that. No cell phones, and even gone to the burner phone.
Yep.
Where you can't do anything but call me in an emergency. And so I'm getting a lot of pushback now that it's in high school, like you say, because they're putting assignments or letting them know, you know, new work assignment. So is it right for me to not have them have anything in this world? Because see, that's why I'm here, is to see if I'm being too strict.
If there's a balance, right, right. And that's the best question that you could ask, because if the teachers aren't giving it into a way that they can via email, or if there's other ways that they can access the information, for sure. What you do is you restrict them from getting the bullying, the insults, those kind of things that they don't really need to have in their life right now. For me, it's balance. It's like they need to know some technology. They're not going to be ignorant to technology because they're not letting them have a cell phone in high school. From my position and my true belief is that technology is now really the new gateway drug, because you're teaching them the minute it beeps, I need to answer it. You're teaching that Pavlovian classical conditioning. So they're getting rewarded every single time they're getting a message in. And so if you're teaching them that reward pathway in that center of the brain, that's exactly what like DARE was in 1973 or 4 when it came out. They were talking about what marijuana, and that was the gateway drug, and it went into all these other things. It had to do with, once you teach that pathway of that reward and that how good it feels because it's getting rewarded, then it's just getting them set off to like continually need more and more and more and more. So I advocate what you're doing. I really do. I think that if they have a cell phone, you talk to the teachers and you say, my children don't have smartphones. They have an email account, it's at home, and you have monitoring software on it. They can access it. Is there a reason why they need to access it between school until they get to the house?
I I've had it consistently, but I'm, like I say, I'm a sophomore and I'm getting so much pushback now because of school. You know, Mom, I needed to take a picture of this. The kids are even using them to take pictures of the board, you know, and get assignments and not hand copy. And so I'm thinking to myself, I guess I'm second guessing myself.
Yeah, I wouldn't second guess yourself, because think about like the cameras that you can go get, the little $99 cameras that aren't connected to the internet but are downloadable. Give them one of those.
Okay.
You don't need to have an online ability to connect to the internet at this age. It's the social part that they're missing. And you're right, they're the odd person in the room. And so it's talking about like, can you be that unique person, and how do you deal with that?